In this video, we're taking a good look at my Takada no Hamono Suiboku 180mm Nakiri. Forged in Shirogami No. 1 by Yoshikazu Tanaka, ground, etched, polished and sharpened by Mitsuaki Takada. Look at that stupid gorgeous finish. How does he do it? How does it feel to cut with it? Watch the whole video to find out.
Chef enthusiast. Chef enthusiast.
Hello my fellow chef knives enthusiasts. I know what you're thinking. How the hell did I get my hands on a Takada no Hamono Suiboku? They're always sold out, everywhere. I got clever and slid into Takada's DM without unsolicited pictures of my naked aubergine, but obviously knife thirsty as F. So I just asked if I could order knives from him directly. And to my surprise, he said yes.
To your surprise, you basically catfished him with your obsession. I should report you.
The only catch? It would take him 8 months to fulfill my order. And he could only ship the knives within Japan. Hence, I needed a middleman, plural. So I enlisted my friend Misa, who lives there. Then another friend who was traveling to Japan for work. Takada shipped my knives to her place. Misa sent the knife to his hotel. He flew back with the knife in his checked-in baggage. I met him at the airport with a duffel bag full of unmarked bills. He handed over the merchandise to me, done and dusted.
This knife took more effort to get than a black market dodo.
Let's talk about the man behind the myth. Mitsuaki Takada. He trained under Hiroshi Ashi, mastered the double bevel Hamaguri convex grind, spent working at Ashi Hamono for years. He opened Takada no Hamono in 2018 in a cozy wood frame house turned into workshop.
So basically, artisanal knife hipster in a shack. Got it.
His blades? Apparently they are a perfect storm of grind, geometry and aesthetic beauty. This Suiboku line is forged by Yoshikazu Tanaka in Shirogami No. 1. And then Mitsuaki Takada, he grinds, he edges, he polishes, he sharpens. Does his magic.
Magic? You mean he has opinions with sandpaper?
Suiboku, by the way, means ink wash. Like the old East Asian paintings, it's moody, hazy, and full of emotional damage. The blade is polished to a mirror on the edge, edge to hell in the middle, and has this ghostly, misty Kasumi finish. The Suiboku series is very popular amongst the knife nerd community. A lot of knife nerds buy these because that finish is just so beautiful. But then they don't dare to use them because they don't want to spoil that beautiful finish. And even if they would know how to achieve that finish, they probably couldn't do it themselves, including me. I actually also bought a Gyuto, besides this Nakiri. And that Gyuto we sent to Maxime from Japanese Natural Stones, JNS. And I asked him what the hell Takada is actually doing to get that beautiful finish.
He probably told you it's a crap knife because it's not made by Shigefusa or Kato. Signature Maxime.
Maxime told me that Takada probably sandblasts the steel, then wraps the blade in a cloth soaked in gator piss, this etching liquid, which creates the raw, dynamic etching lines on the blade. Then he buffs his edge to a mirror polish, and perhaps finishes and sharpens on Japanese natural stones. Who knows, but that's how it's done. Let's get down to business. Very thin spine. Very thin blade geometry. Super thin blade geometry. Too thin, maybe. If you love workhorses,
This is not the knife you're looking for.
Move along, move along.
almost every knife nerd I know that owns a Takada no Hamono has been raving about Takada's grind like it's a religious experience. So I was expecting a very nice Hamaguri convex grind on this knife. But this one... yeah, it's definitely not a crab grind, but it almost looks and feels like a full flat grind. Sure, there might be a very, very slight convexity right there, but I doubt if it will affect the cutting feel in a positive way. Perhaps my expectations were a little bit too high, but it definitely does not compare to the perfect convex grind on my Kiyoshi Kato knives, which is no surprise considering the extreme thinness of this particular blade doesn't leave too much room for a convex grind. Not that I could do any better myself, but I expected a little bit more.
Your expectations are like soufflés, always collapsing under pressure.
For a Nakiri, it has just a little bit too much belly for me. There is no generous flat spot. It basically curves all the way from heel to tip, albeit very, very slightly. Out of the box sharpness, yeah, very nice. The edge has enough bite to go through the skin of a pepper effortlessly. I literally use 0% pressure right here.
Crazy.
The blade is so light-weighted that it does not really want to fall through by itself. It gets stuck into a sweet potato really easily. Push cutting with this blade, yeah, not great. In fact, the blade is so thin behind the edge and so sharp, I do feel it catch into the cutting board a little bit. My cutting board is a Parker Asahi. It is super friendly for your kitchen knives because it is pretty soft, but perhaps too soft for a super thin and sharp blade like this one. I mean, if it catches into the cutting board when I am literally using no pressure at all, what would it do if I would use pressure while cutting? I'm not sure if I want to find out. Definitely over here. I usually prefer push cutting, but it seems that this blade wants to be used with a pull cut. Now my blade doesn't get stuck into the cutting board. When I push cut, it immediately gets stuck. Perhaps you will not have this problem when cutting on a slightly harder cutting board. You know, a nice end grain wooden cutting board, or what have you. But I use Parker Asahi cutting boards exclusively as my all-purpose cutting boards for about 9 years. And I will never go back to some other cutting boards. But for this Takada, it's just too soft. This blade is so thin and delicate, it's practically allergic to pressure. Yeah, I definitely don't feel comfortable chopping with this knife.
You bought a supermodel to do construction work.
I think this will be my very special fancy herb knife. When cutting herbs, it definitely helps when a knife is laser thin. less chance of bruising the herbs or otherwise damaging them. This was actually the only time up till now that I felt like I was comfortably wielding this blade. Does this mean that I actually bought a 600 euro herb knife? That's stupid crazy, yo. If you ever need some thinly cut chives, call me on my number, which you might have. Short final thoughts. This knife, stunning. The finish, gorgeous. But in the hand, on the cutting boards, not really for me. In-depth final thoughts? Based on my first use experience with this knife, yeah, I didn't bond with this knife right away like Avatar. It just doesn't click with my preferred cutting technique and cutting board. It's too light, too thin, too delicate. The convex grind is hardly noticeable. It doesn't fall to produce like I wanted to. And it just didn't give me the confidence to just cut without second guessing myself or chipping the blade.
Bro-san over here acts like a samurai. Cuts like a scared intern.
Yeah, the functionality of this particular Takada no Hamono Suiboku Nakiri is limited, at least in my hands. Over here. But yeah, when I need to mince herbs or slice a chili into hair-thin ribbons, sure, perfect. I think this Nakiri could be my premium herb knife. Or perhaps I should practice my Katsuramuki with this Nakiri. But an all-round vegetable slayer? Not so much, unfortunately. I would rather grab my Kiyoshi Kato or Toyama or Tinker Tank, Jiro, Tereyashu Fujiwara Denka.
Just stop right there. Wow! You just name-dropped your whole knife collection like it's a Tinder bio.
I do love the fit and finish on this blade. No matter how it is done, that Suiboku finish is just all kinds of gorgeous. But the blade geometry and profile of this Nakiri isn't a snug fit for me. And quite frankly, it was quite a struggle for me to cut with this knife comfortably.
If your technique sucks, not even Takada can save you. Just saying.
I wanted to love this Takada. I really did. But I guess I'm not going to join the hype parade.
Buy what cuts, ignore the hype.
I hate to say it, but I'm actually quite disappointed. My expectations are unfortunately not met at all. And I know expectations are the thieves of joy. After all the praise I've heard about his convex grinds, I have to say I'm underwhelmed by this particular Nakiri. Of course, I am willing to believe all the positive things I have heard about his grinding skills by all these people whose opinions I pretty much trust. But this blade's geometry is so thin that it leaves no room for a hamaguri grind to shine and be able to do the damn thing.
Keep chasing that perfect grind, bro-san. Maybe someday it'll make up for your personality.
I know how many chef knives enthusiasts out there would happily hump some legs to get their hands on one of these. But hey, this is my YouTube channel. These are my humble opinions. You don't have to agree with me, but this Takada no Hamono Suiboku Nakiri is definitely not my favorite or my best performing knife in the collection. If you do love your Takada, more power to you. But unfortunately, in this case, I'll have to stick to the ones that work for me.
If that Nakiri could talk, it would apologize for wasting your time.
Don't get me wrong, still glad I own it though. It's a looker, even with the patina already taking over, ruining the beautiful Suiboku finish. But I can always commission Maxime to restore this beautiful Suiboku finish for me.
Or you could frame it, next to your diploma in poor decisions.
I've said it many times and I will keep saying it forever. You don't know if a knife is right for you until you use it. And sometimes you win, sometimes you take the L.
He took the L, so you don't have to. But you will anyway, cause you're stubborn.
Thanks for watching this video and making it this far. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Don't hit the like and subscribe button, nor the notification bell, and don't even think of becoming a member. It will only encourage him to continue making content for this channel. That's not what the internet needs.
Until sooner than later.
Bye, humans. Try not to cut yourselves.
Chef enthusiast. Chef enthusiast.